This new year, why not let Audible expand your life by listening? Explore over 1 million audiobooks, podcasts, and exclusive Audible originals that'll inspire and motivate you. Tap into your well-being with advice and insight from leading professionals and experts on better health, relationships, career, finance, investing, and more. Maybe you want to kick a bad habit or start a good one. If you're interested in learning how to master your emotions and hearing scientifically backed advice for using your emotions as a tool, may I suggest Shift by psychologist and bestseller author Dr. Ethan Kross? Trust me, listening on Audible can help you reach the goals you set for yourself. Start listening today when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
Oh, I didn't need to start the recording, but okay. Sorry. I didn't realize it was already set up to record. Ooh, I like that. Martini glass?
And it has a thing that I don't think you guys can see. I'm going to try and hit it with my phone flashlight. This is a second from the fancy glassware place. Do you see? Oh, yeah, you can see the little thing in the bottom.
Yeah, what is that?
It's a wispy. There's like an inclusion in the glass. It's very cool. It's much cooler in person, but shout out to Simon Pierce Glassware in Deep Creek Lake, Maryland, home of extremely fancy glassware.
What are you drinking?
Blueberry gin and Diet 7-Up.
Damn, you genuinely could have fooled me. That was water.
That's not what you drink out of the fancy glass, dear.
I made a slightly fancier drink in it earlier, but we are out of all of the garnishes.
That sounded fancy as hell to me.
So now we're doing blueberry gin and Diet 7-Up.
And Diet 7-Up.
God, that is such
college. The diet is what makes it fancy.
Mm-hmm.
That is such college shit.
I mean, look at it. It's a nice color. It's pretty.
The cup does make anything fancy.
Thank you.
Hard disagree.
Could it make Applebee's fancy if they had cups like that?
No.
I disagree. I think that would be a step towards making Applebee's fancy.
So you'd have those cups like that, and then you could just like saddle up to the bar and have all you can eat riblets.
Yeah, and get a Oreo shake in it.
Yes.
Get a well Dr. Pepper and whiskey.
Ooh.
I mean, it is. I had said to obnoxiously Pitt boyfriend because again, I did make like an actual nice martini earlier, but I don't like olives and we're out of lemons, and so it wasn't very good without the lemon peel. But this glass, and listener, I guess I should describe it for you. This is a hand-blown glass martini glass, but it's sort of curved and it has like a large round foot pedestal kind of thing rather than being super stemmed because I don't like stemware because I'm too clumsy for stemware. And I did, like I said, I did make an actual nice martini before I made my blueberry gin and Diet 7-Up, but we're out of garnishes and I don't like olives. And so it was just gin and vermouth.
Pitt Girl, what is your martini of choice?
I like Blanco vermouth and gin and a lemon peel.
Okay. Personal favorite is a Vesper, which is strong gin, vodka, and Kina Lillet.
Yes, I have had that at a cocktail bar. Lillet is like obnoxiously, it's annoying to get in Pennsylvania, and so I don't have it. I don't make them.
I keep a bottle of Lillet Blanc around because I make corpse revivers. A corpse reviver number 2 requires it. One of my favorite drinks of all time. Corpse reviver number 2 is the classic brunch drink. The classic get up and go drink. One of my favorites.
I don't think I've ever had a martini in my life.
What'd you say, Arthur?
So what's in it? Like, what's the...
A corpse reviver number 2. The number 1 isn't as common because it has brandy. The corpse reviver 2 is a gin drink. It is equal parts of, let me find it to make sure I'm right, gin, lemon juice, Cointreau, Lillet Blanc, and a dash of absinthe.
Yeah.
It's there's no mixer. The lemon juice, I guess, is the mixer technically, but it's just alcohol and alcohol and alcohol.
Interesting. I got an espresso martini kit from work. Ooh. Like I won a raffle at work. Oh. So I got to pick that up on my trip to Toledo.
Nice. You ready to be drinking espresso martinis?
I mean, not while we record this podcast. I think
no.
An espresso martini is probably the only martini I've ever drank. So
they are good, especially if they are made with like freshly pulled espresso shots.
I'll probably get thumbs down here, but I can't do the gin.
Really?
I've had
No.
I've had a version that instead of espresso is like a matcha latte type thing. It's like a matcha
Ooh.
latte version of an espresso martini. But I guess if you don't like
That
coffee,
has my attention.
but yeah, I've only ever had that espresso like martini style thing.
Commish?
Yeah.
All of my favorite, like a bunch of my favorite cocktails are gin cocktails. I can't fathom not drinking gin.
Yeah, same.
I look, man, if I'm gonna do a martini, it's gonna be vodka. And I'm just gonna tell you a reason why. In college, I did kind of what Pitt Girl was doing. I had a bottle of I think Albertson's gin.
Oh God.
And I think 7-Up or Sprite. One of the whatever. I drank all of that in a night. It was a small bottle. I threw up violently, and the smell of gin kind of just still triggers that. It's been many years since I've smelled gin.
But I get this.
So, I mean, maybe I could give it another shot. But the only way that I've drank martinis, if I do have them, which I don't, I'm normally a rum guy. Which, I mean, that's kind of, it's like either I'm kind of brown liquor man, but like whiskey, bourbon. I like Canadian whiskey the most. But yeah, it's vodka, and it's got to be really dirty. Give me a lot of the olive juice. Give me a lot of the olives, and that's what I got to do with it.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I once drank so much of gin and tonic at a Christmas party in Washington D.C. that I bear hugged a senator, blacked out, and ended up at Reagan, the hospital Reagan ended up at when he got shot.
It was, oh God. It was really messed up. Like after I did that.
This gin got me feeling like Ronald Reagan.
I was a bartender for like 7 years. So like after that happened, like it was before I really started bartending, it was very tough to make like bartend weddings and in the summer in New Orleans, and everybody's drinking gin and tonic. I'm like, oh God, get away. Like it was difficult, but I could handle it. I just don't smell it, and I'll be okay. Here's some lime. I can just smell the lime. I'll be okay.
Welcome, everybody, to the Stickers Mini Podcast.
This is our podcast for the evening of July 1st, 2025. It is Canada Day.
Hey.
It is also New Conference Day. Congratulations. Welcome to FBS, Delaware and Missouri State. We'll talk about you a little later. Welcome back to UMatt. Welcome back to, whatchamacallit?
The UMaction. It's UMaction.
Yeah,
sorry,
UMaction.
I'm watching people give each other the fingers. I'm not sure what's going on.
It's also Bobby Bonilla Day.
It is
Jordan.
Bobby Bonilla Day.
It is.
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if you were pointing at that or your glass of wine, Beth.
I mean, all both. I'm celebrating Bobby Bonilla. Listen, we are down to 10 more years of celebrating that day.
Gotta celebrate. Only a decade left of the Bobby Bonilla Day.
Every podcast is someone's first. We should probably explain Bobby Bonilla Day.
Every Bobby Bonilla Day is someone's first.
It's true.
That is very true. So Bobby Bonilla, former Pirate.
Bobby Bonilla wanted business.
He did. Yeah. He was kind of the guy that would, if you win the lottery when you're young and you decide to take the annuity payment over time. Shohei Ohtani, or Shohei Ohtani. Oh, sorry. Ohtani.
You had it right the first time.
I had it right the first time. Wow. I doubted myself. How dare I? Basically, he's done something similar to Bobby Bonilla. So, like, it may turn into Shohei Ohtani Day. But basically, in 2000, the Mets agreed to buy out the remaining of Bobby Bonilla's $5.9 million on his contract. However, instead of paying Bonilla the $5 million at the time, the Mets agreed to make annual payments of nearly $1.2 million for 25 years, starting July starting July 2021, including an 8% negotiated interest rate.
How are they so
Oh,
bad at
yeah.
It's
business?
Well,
amazing. It's the best contract.
Do you remember why the Mets owner was okay with making that deal?
Because he saw the returns he was getting from his investments, and he was
Yes.
like, my investments are making money at a greater rate than this will cost me.
Gotta burn those
So-
capital gains.
Right. So he was saying, okay, I can save the money now, invest it, and then I'll have more money even having to pay it. Basically, he was taking out a loan from Bobby Bonilla to invest, and then he could pay it back plus the interest and still have money left over because of how great the returns on his investments were.
And Arthur, do you remember who he was investing with?
I sure do.
Was it Bernie Madoff?
It was Bernie Madoff.
Oh!
Alabama alumnus.
The line is going to go up forever,
Apparently.
as it turns
Apparently.
out.
That's how the line works.
So
And what's great about the Bernie Madoff story is we have nothing to learn from it, and it'll never happen again.
That's right.
Yeah. So Bobby Bonilla gets 1.19 million, and he's got a decade left of that. There's a couple of other contracts that have this arrangement. It will be paid through, in as long as Bobby when he's 72 in 2035. So some other notable deferred payment contracts. Bobby Bonilla got a second one. A deferred contract plan with the Orioles that pays him $500,000 a year for 25 years.
Mhm.
Okay.
Those payments began in 2004. So again, that ends in 2029. So the $500,000 a year ends in 2029. Brett Saberhagen, I don't know if you remember him. He gets $250,000 a year from the Mets for 25 years. The payments also began in 2004, and this was the inspiration for the Bobby Bonilla deal. So Brett Saberhagen was the one that did that. Max Scherzer is going to receive $105 million total from the Nationals that will be paid out through 2028. Not really deferred that much. Apparently, Manny Ramirez is going to collect $24.2 million from the Red Sox through 2026.
Does this affect Bobby Bonilla's ability to get Social Security in 3 years?
I don't
think so. No, retirement Social Security doesn't have an asset test. You just get it. It would be different if he was applying for disability.
Oh, fair.
My favorite thing about the Bobby Bonilla thing, by the way, that I don't know if a lot of people know because I just read it in an interview last year, is that he insists on the Mets sending him a physical check every year.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
That's spiteful.
I would insist on them sending like a big check.
Oh, like
Yeah.
the
Like
novelty
you
check.
won the
Definitely.
golf tournament
Yeah.
check. Either that or they could pay me in a sack of pennies in a burlap bag with a $sign spray painted on the side.
You want the full Scrooge McDuck.
Oh, very much so.
Yes.
I just love that today in the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks announced that they were going to spread a player's remaining contract over 5 years. And everyone's talking like, wow, this is crazy. They're going to have all this money they're paying for 5 years.
Mm.
I would like to take this moment to inform everyone on the podcast that for actual job, I work in a field where sometimes big checks are required. Dry erase big checks exist.
Yes.
Yeah, there's one at my work too.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have to write for PNC mobile deposit on the back in permanent ink, or can that also be in dry erase?
Take a giant picture of it with your phone.
Can you
for
do
your-
the mobile deposit with the like you gotta like
I
That's
think if
weird.
that's why you need that little
High enough, it
0.5
would
zoom
work.
out.
Well,
Yeah.
you just have to
Yeah.
get far enough away. Like, I imagine
Right.
you put the big
Yeah.
check on the ground, you go up to the balcony, and then you take the pictures. And then you got to go down, flip it over, go back up, take the other side. You get your steps in.
Did we
That's
ever
all.
intro the show?
I
No.
was gonna do it right now.
just one more thing. Otani is gonna do the
Please
Bobby
keep going.
Bonilla deal
Yes.
from like he's just being paid $2 million annually during his 10-year contract with the Dodgers, but from 2034 to 2043, Otani will receive $68 million a year.
Oh shit.
Yes,
The fog is coming.
it is. I don't know. That's insane.
That was definitely a deal written by the Dodgers owner. We're like, the Dodgers aren't going to exist in 20 years.
That's a future owner problem.
Yeah.
As always, I am Jordan. With me tonight, I have Commish, Beth, Pitt Girl, Special guest Canadian Joey and Arthur on the ones and twos. Joey, how are you, sir?
Happy Canada Day.
Yay!
It's been an interesting last 72 hours. I went to Toronto on Sunday for the grand opening of the Rogers Stadium, not the Rogers Center, not the Rogers Arena, not the Rogers Place, Rogers Stadium. Canada is like 3 companies in a trench coat. Don't worry about it.
Who is playing at the Rogers Center?
K-pop band Stray Kids. I did not actually go to the venue. I was the driver and train chaperone.
Nice.
For my partner and some friends, and then I went and did some go-karting, which is literally right next to the venue, so I could hear the music from there. That place is not going to last the summer, folks. That was it. The stadium looked rickety as hell, and there was one exit for 50,000 people. So that was interesting.
That's awful.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Was it like a really big exit at least?
It was a really big exit. It could handle the volume, but not the, hey guys, there's one train left. So that was interesting. It's on former airport lands, and there's still an active, I don't know about active, but like secure military base there. So I had to walk around a big loop to not go through secured areas to get to the go-karting place. So I got blisters on my feet, which was interesting.
When you said active, my brain went to volcano, and then whenever you went to military base, now my brain is wandering in very weird circles.
Hawaii is the condiment you seek.
Yeah.
And then today,
Just troops sleeping out of the ground is the weirdest thing.
on Canada Day, I went and got a poutine, and then went to sleep and woke up, and now I'm here. Hello.
Hello. Pitt Girl, how are you?
It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I stood in a parking lot today. It's very hot. 0 out of 10.
Beth, your triumphant return.
Hi.
I'm glad to see that you are drinking wine, which is what
out of a glass that's as big as my head.
Right? It's like those glass.
Hell yeah.
Control C, Control V on your trip.
Yep. I mean, I was in wine country, so I came back with a lot of wine.
And the glossy helmets for West Virginia.
Yes, I did not change the wallpaper in my home. So maybe next time.
Okay.
Commish, how are you?
Oh, good. Fun day. My kiddo went to like the museum with his summer camp, like the dinosaur museum. And so I picked him up, and he was just talking about, I was like, I'm expecting dinosaurs, but apparently he got really into frogs. So
Okay.
he saw like a bunch of frogs, and he's like, there was this one frog, it was red, and it had spots. And then like he couldn't tell me what the name of the frog was. So I get home, and I'm like searching frogs, and like, what type of frogs?
Man, too bad the Italian football season ended.
I know, right? You know, they didn't make the Italian Bowl, but you know.
Was it the Lugano frogs, are they? I
I
believe.
think so.
Okay. They're the ones that have the Raiders. They're basically the Raiders of Italy.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
If they had made it, I would have had a really good NASCAR / Italian football joke that I would have been able to workshop. But I never even started that process because they lost.
Well, folks, to celebrate our beloved Canada Day,
Yes.
earlier off camera, we all sang sang part of "O Canada."
Oh,
But now,
And by we you mostly mean you, but sure.
I appreciated the gesture.
I joined in.
I mean, I had to learn it because we had to play all our hockey games in college.
Did you ever learn it in French?
No, because that seems like cultural appropriation. I'm not going to offend the Quebecois.
Oh, Canada.
Let's talk about an important Canada Day statistic. This is from CFP Stats on Blue Sky. And they put out the all-time Rouge statistics. From 1958 to 2024, there have been 7,500... Well, first off, rewind. Sorry. What is a Rouge? Everyone's podcast is the first podcast, right?
Yes.
Yes.
A Rouge is in Canadian...
Every podcast is someone's first podcast.
Every podcast
Every
is my
podcast
first
is everyone's first podcast. Our listener base has amnesia.
We've never done this before.
No.
We're
can
actually
tell.
solely making podcasts for the guy in Memento. He's our only listener.
Well,
It's kind of Jordan.
and the chicken 50 First Dates.
Yes. Drew Barrymore.
What if we are the podcast version of the Weeping Angels, where you stop listening and everybody forgets?
I mean, that's the off-season,
Yeah.
basically.
That's true.
So, Eau Rouge, fellow listeners, is in Canadian rules football. If you kick the ball out the back of the end zone or out the side of the end zone, you get a point for that, basically. There's other ways to do this as well. You basically can do this on a punt, on a field goal, or on a kickoff, sorry. And so there have been 7,573 of these single points. 3,800 have been off a missed field goal, 3,100 off a punt, and only 570 off a kickoff. Not as common on a kickoff. You have to really get some wind behind it, I think, to go.
Well,
The field be longer.
the field be longer. And do they kick off from the 30 or the 35?
Mhm.
Yeah, so they kick off from the 30, and the field is 110 yards.
Kick off from
So-
the
Yeah.
30 to get to the other end of the field would be how many? That's 80 plus 20 of the end
The end
zone.
zone.
It's 100 yards.
Basically, you'd have to like kick it like 85 yards and get it out the corner of
Or
the-
get a friendly bounce and an American returner
Yes, possibly. So it doesn't.
who is
happen
looking at
to-
it like touchback time.
That's happened before, which is nice. The American rookie returner.
Saskatchewan beat Edmonton on that last year, I
I know.
believe.
It's again, that's why the Rough Riders are my team. 4-0, baby. By the way, go Riders.
Not a super comfortable 4-0, my friend.
That last one was against
Yeah,
BC.
the last one was.
That's right. They have a bye week. I'm good. I'm glad.
2025 Saskatchewan Roughriders, 2024 Pitt, uncomfortable 4-0.
Oh God, yeah.
And we all know that the Pitt season went totally well after that point. I was there.
Jordan,
I
It
saw
was
I
great.
saw
Jordan,
the
you better not
Jerry's
go to
one.
a game of the Rough Riders this year.
Pitt Girl, I was thinking about taking Jordan to the opener.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
What's the opener?
If Duquesne,
Oh, yeah, sure.
if we lose to Duquesne, I will be like actively protesting in front of Pat Narduzzi's office.
City game. My beloved Hamilton Tiger Cats are 1-2 right now, and that is enough to put them in a position to host a playoff game
Yeah.
because the CFL East is just a glorious division.
The CFL least
No,
Yeah.
We need
CFL Beast.
beast. Okay.
We need to talk about the man who had the most singles. 309 in his career.
Yeah.
St. Louis.
This is
Saint
Lui
Louis.
Passaglia. He played from 76 to 2000. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He played football for 25 fucking
The Yarmir
years.
Yager of Canadian rules football.
And he played every kick of that with the BC Lions.
God, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
They should just name the team after him.
He was picked 5th in the 1976 draft as a kicker punter / wide receiver, they have him listed as. And he went to Simon Fraser. He is Canadian through and through.
Yeah. He went to Notre Dame for high school. Not that Notre Dame.
The other Notre Dame.
Yeah, the one in Vancouver, BC.
It's wild.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
He is probably the most CFL guy that ever lived because he was just making the points rain.
Yeah, he is. When TSN did their top 50 players of all time at the league's 200th anniversary, I think, they ranked him number 30.
He has 3 Grey Cups, 1 in each decade.
He's
Correct.
perfectly in the uncanny valley between Pete Carroll and Dave Wanstead.
The mustache is glorious. I'm trying to find a younger picture of him.
Do we have is he Canadian Jeff Foxworthy?
No, because I like
What a
him. I'm not
cursed
gonna
thought.
I'm not going to say those things.
He does have a mullet in that picture, and it is glorious.
I know. I was like, if you have 309 rouges, you might be
I found his rookie card. You need to look at this.
rookie card.
No, this is like
Yes.
Oh my
He's got-
God.
the luscious curls.
Fun fact: CFL trading cards used to come in a loaf. That's a reference for the real heads out there.
Okay, explain the loaf. Is it bread?
Well, so
no,
you get a big block of cards and you just slice it.
Mhm.
Okay, So then,
No, what's the
Card
low?
show.
For real, I need to know.
Ryan Nanny and John Boy's card show. They got CFL cards and they're all stuck together.
Oh,
Oh.
we also have our CFL single season single high, 33 in a season by Tom Dixon, 1986. And the most rouges in a game, a man by the name of Huck Welsh, got 8 in a game in 1936.
That's so many.
That's why a large poutine is called the Feast of Huck.
And then they sent him to World War II, I'm guessing. So he did this and then went to go fight Nazis.
The teams he played for, by the way, Huck Welch, in 1936, he was playing for the Hamilton Tigers, not the Tiger Cats.
Oh my
The reason
God.
they're called the Tiger Cats is because there was the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Hamilton Flying Wildcats, and they merged.
what? I see something called the Montreal AAA Winged Wheelers.
That was a athletic club that also had a hockey team, and that's where the Detroit Red Wings got their name.
Okay.
Wow.
I know. Today I
They wa-
learned.
One of the only... Well, why did I say one of? Definitely the only team to have both a Grey Cup and a Stanley Cup.
Oh.
Did
That's
the
like-
octopus obsession happen later?
I would hope.
Yes,
I
that
know-
happened in like the 60s.
Would you call it an obsession?
Yes. Listen,
I'm a Red Wings fan. I'm fine with it.
if you're stuffing an invertebrate into your clothing to smuggle it into a hockey game to throw it on ice,
Yeah.
I've never done the pants octopus myself, but if called upon for duty, I would.
Is that an octopus in your trousers, or are you just happy to see me?
hey, porque los nos.
I mean, you got to put that in like a Ziploc bag, right? You're not going to straight.
No,
up.
I'm raw dogging the octopus.
You gotta wrap your octopus.
gotta-
It's very important.
I mean, you know.
They teach
It's
you that in
tradition at
schools.
that point.
Oh, so they used to teach you that in schools. They can't anymore.
Oh,
Octopus
Yeah.
trap you?
One
Right.
of the great moments in Detroit Red Wings history was when we had a series against the Nashville Predators, and Jordan Tutu, who was on the Predators, very respectfully asked, "Hey, I'm like super allergic to octopus. Can you not do the octopus flinging around me?" And then the Red Wings Zamboni driver, who is the guy who picks up the octopus and flings it around, said, "Fuck you," and did it anyway.
Cool.
well, that's
I
nice.
can't imagine a invertebrate. What do you call that allergy? An invertebrate allergy? I don't know what you call an octopus allergy, but that it would be
They're
that
cephalopods.
Yeah.
Okay, is a cephalopod allergy?
That'd be crazy.
I mean, you can be allergic to anything. There are people out here who are like allergic to air.
It's called a cephalopod allergy. Squid, cuttlefish, and octopus. Huh.
My partner's allergic to black pepper, which makes cooking interesting.
Oh no.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's awful.
Is it just the ripe ones, or is it like, or is red pepper okay? Or is just the pepper bean at all forms of life?
Red pepper is okay. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I have people ask me all the time, like, "Hey, can you have chicken?" I'm like, I see where you're going, and yes.
That's funny. I still think
Wait, does
that if
chicken not have mayonnaise in it?
God, I love you, Arthur.
I still truly believe that if you consumed an egg whole, shell on, you wouldn't have
Egg
a
snake
reaction.
Beth.
just
Egg snake Beth. Egg snake Beth.
I think you'd be fine.
There's a Patreon number for this, but I don't think we're gonna hit it.
No.
I think at the $1 million mark, Beth will raw dog an egg.
I think we need more money than that.
I think we're gonna build a bridge over the Grand Canyon before we do this.
we
Found out. Hey, asshole! Do you know what I found out? I found out there is a bridge over the Grand Canyon.
The Sky
That
Bridge doesn't count.
No.
It
The
doesn't
other one
go
also doesn't
across
count.
the
It's at
Grand
the very
Canyon.
end.
The Navajo Bridge.
Yeah.
It's the way you get to the North Rim. It is technically in Grand Canyon National Park. It is over a skinny section.
I
Sorry,
highlighted it.
Beth wasn't here for the first half of this conversation last time.
I
When suggested
highlighted
the
it.
bridge over-
It's over
Yeah.
Marble Canyon. That's not the Grand Canyon. Marble Canyon.
It's all Grand Canyon.
If I may make a suggestion for the Patreon, it's not $1 million combined. It's one single tier for $1 million a month. Beth will eat one egg.
$1 million a month should almost be able to cover the health insurance claim that I'm going to have after that. Thanks,
Exactly.
America.
I just hope it doesn't turn out like, like that aliens are Spaceballs thing.
Mhm.
for Beth.
You think a chick is gonna burst out of her stomach?
I don't know.
Like
Oh.
Alien?
If one does,
Alien,
name
yeah.
a segment on the
Egg tester.
show after me, but like a really bad segment that nobody likes.
Do we have segments? Okay, so
Isn't that the whole show?
the ACC schedule read by Jordan Beth Memorial.
In a Minnesota accent.
The ACC network schedule.
Yes, that's what I meant. Thank you. Pitt Girl, you've brought something to the class that we need to talk about.
Yes, I actually, speaking of segments, I now have talked about this topic kind of twice, and so that counts as a segment.
Alex!
Yes.
Segment, yes. So I talked a while ago about the Penguin that threw out the first pitch at the White Sox game, and everybody was like, the Penguin didn't actually throw out the pitch. This is underwhelming. Jordan, I need you to swipe on this and then play the clip, please.
Okay.
He actually threw out the pitch. This is Alex the Giant Bunny, who has been seen at many baseball games. The Reno Aces invited him out to throw out the first pitch, and they got him like set up with like the ball chucking machine. And with some assistance, he pushed the button for the ball chucking machine, and he did actually throw out the first pitch.
I did see the person who's like, I'm sure the bunny would rather be relaxing in the air conditioning. And I'm sure Joey can speak to this as well. Yeah, the bunny does love air conditioning, but if you give the bunny banana, the bunny will do literally anything.
100%. Yes.
Also, this bunny in particular is like a therapy bunny who likes being out in public and rides around in his Power Wheel Jeep and is like out here living his best life.
I would die for this Flemish giant.
Alex the Great is fantastic. He's usually at Giants games, like San Francisco Giants games.
I'm going to drop a picture in chat. It's going to make you guys feel the best ever. Here you go.
I'm pretty sure he was at San Francisco Pride in his Jeep. Like,
How about that?
Yes.
yes.
Jordan has posted Texas A&M bunny.
It is a Flemish giant bunny laying down to a border collie that is the same size. Can you imagine
Mega
how
bunny.
soft the bunny is to hug?
With just the biggest, floopiest ears.
It's very messed up because Gritty, my rabbit, has the same color pattern as this rabbit, but is obviously not a giant. So
Your rabbit's name is Gritty.
yes, there is context. He is orange, and when he was at the shelter, his name was Phil, short for Philadelphia. So I said, well, he's Gritty now.
That's
That's perfect.
Yeah. The nice thing, too, about the Flemish giants is that they don't have an appreciably shorter lifespan than most of the tinier bunnies. So unlike a lot of I got the big pet, I don't get the big pet for very long. They live a nice long time. No, I've never shopped for one.
You're going to have a giant bunny forever.
I love the idea of you having like Podcat and other Podcat and gigantic
And a bunny that is significantly larger than both of them put together.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
Been summoned.
Oh yeah. Anyway, hi Podcat.
Don't even think about it. We have from Burger King Japan. This is from Unseen Japan on Blue Sky. Want to ruin your diet in Japan even worse than you expected? Burger King Japan has unveiled its Baby Body Burger in conjunction with the Japan Sumo Association. Advertised as a clash of the beef, it is 5 beef patties and clocks in at a rikishi size 1900 calories.
19,000 calories. Jesus.
Sorry.
Burger King Japan likes to get fucking wild with it sometimes.
They do.
Well, so this is not that weird. Like In-N-Out, you can order an In-N-Out 4x4.
I was going to say, this is lots fewer calories than most of the things I've seen people get at Chipotle.
Is anyone familiar with the Windows 7 Whopper that
No.
they had when Windows 7 came out?
Not at all.
Think about it. Think about what the Windows 7 Whopper could be.
Was it 7 like
patties.
God.
It was 7
Did they have
patties.
it here, or was this like a Canadian?
It was
like a
Burger King
Canada
Japan.
only thing?
It was Burger King Japan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I posted a picture.
Oh my
in
God.
Source Gordon of the
The
Windows
lettuce
7
in that
Whopper.
is an apology.
Yes. The reviews I remember from it were there is not enough moisture on it to make up for there being 7 patties.
There's so many patties that you can actually get a color gradient effect from the different patties. And so it's tricking my brain in several levels to think that oh, maybe that's just more bun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mhm.
idea. One of these, but you cook each patty to a different level. Tartare on top, all the way down to scorched, well done.
I mean, I
Or
definitely don't want
put the tartar
from
in the
Burger
middle.
King.
Oh man.
Oh,
Put the
what's
tartar in
your-
the middle. We're going Burger Wellington here.
Le Burger King has le steak tartare. Oh,
Oh my! I was actually able to translate
See,
the
Quebec
page.
wouldn't take me. Quebec wouldn't take me because I make fun of them. What's the page, say, Commish?
I was able to translate the page for the preview of the baby body burger.
Perfect.
What is it? Is it interesting?
I just want to read. It is an extra large burger approved by the Japan Sumo Association that boasts the impressiveness of a Yokozuna champion. It is made with 5 of Burger King's proud flame-grilled 100% beef patties, 4 slices of smoky bacon, 4 slices of rich cheddar cheese, pickles for added flavor, fresh lettuce, and a tomato, and is topped with a creamy mayonnaise, ketchup, and a special quote-unquote Aurora sauce that combines the refreshing acidy mustard and white wine vinegar texture of chopped pickles and the rich flavor and full body taste of tomato paste.
You
Commish said
don't have,
acidy. Talk about Rikishi.
Acidy. Oh, hey.
you don't have to sell me so hard on your Fat Man Burger King. You don't have to put it in such nice words.
I got more here. Hey, you may get something if you order it fast enough. To commemorate the release, we will be offering a limited number of original stickers to customers who purchase the baby body burger while stocks last. Also, we recommend ordering the quote-unquote half cut, which is easier to eat. If you ask for half cut at the register, we will cut it in half for you. It is easy to hold, and you can eat it from the middle where the meat juice is full.
I had to look up what an Aurora sauce was. It's butter tomato.
So my biggest problem with this is the number of slices of cheese.
That's a lot of cheese.
No, it's not.
No, I think it's too little cheese.
Yeah,
You need that extra cheese?
Look what I posted in chat.
Okay.
Yes.
More cheese.
The second one
That's proportional cheese.
The second one is a 20 by 20. The top
That's a bubble bass burger.
The top one is 100 by 100.
Okay. More cheese.
Jordan, I'm nearly certain that second one you've posted is a bubble bass burger.
I've been to In-N-Out. Why?
I don't know, man. I like it a lot. That's me.
I mean, yeah, it was fine.
At least
It was good. It's between McDonald's and Five Guys, and I appreciate that as an ecological niche because Five Guys is really good, but it's also expensive.
And now it's still cheap as hell.
That's the bubble bass burger that I've just posted.
At the very end of the page, it says Burger King supports Japan's national sport, sumo wrestling.
Is that a BLTLTLTLTLTLTLTLT?
It's the bubble bass burger from SpongeBob.
Oh, okay.
Is this to celebrate taking the sport back from the Mongolian Yokozunas?
Maybe,
I mean, there's still one. It's the Yokozuna are only half Mongolian now. There's one of them's Japanese, one of them's still Mongolian. So I don't know.
Wasn't there like a Kazakh Yokozuna or
definitely not Yokozuna. I don't think from Kazakhstan.
The Kazakh guy was at the World Games. That's where we know him from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that wouldn't be JSA Sumo.
Yeah,
there's a Ukrainian. There's a Ukrainian guy coming up. Like he's supposed to be the real deal. He's been really impressive on his rise. And,
I need to send the corn correspondent and Bridget volunteered to go to do this because the release date of this burger is on Friday, July 11th, 2025. The price, if you just want the burger itself, it's 2,590 yen. If you want the combo meal, which comes with fries and a medium drink, it is 2,890 yen, which, is 527,059 Vietnamese dongs.
How much in American?
I don't know. I didn't translate. I was worried about
Commish only knows dongs.
It's about $20, they said.
Okay. Yeah. I would do I'd spend $20 on this just to do it.
No, okay. So here's the thing. If Burger King USA had this, I would be in my car driving to my nearest Burger King. There is no way in hell I'm ordering this from Burger King Japan.
Okay.
Because if I'm in Japan, I have so much other food I would rather be eating. Like,
could we
the
convince?
novelty wears off when I'm somewhere where it's like, oh, I want to eat food that's not just novelty food.
Could we convince the bootleg Pittsburgh Burger King to make this?
Well, it's a real Burger King now, so we've missed our
Yeah,
chance.
unfortunately,
no.
bootleg Burger King is no longer bootleg.
Oh,
Burger
they bought
King.
it back?
Yeah,
they
it
sold
was
out.
only bootleg Burger King for like maybe a month.
Oh.
Like
When the news found out they were bootleg, they got shut down and reopened as a real Burger King again.
yeah.
But so okay, the timeline, it was a real Burger King.
Yes.
They like lost the franchise. They just
Okay.
stopped paying, I guess. And for that period of time, it was a fake Burger King. And
Okay.
once they got shut down, it reopened back as a real Burger King.
Okay.
Speaking of the corn correspondent, by the way, Commish, I've had my not quite as bad, but my corn correspondent gumbo moment because he posted a picture of a poutine he bought that looked absolutely terrible.
Oh.
And to be fair, I think part of that is he definitely got it takeout, and then it took a long time to open it, so it doesn't look as good.
Steams. Yeah,
it steams. What type of fries do the best with the poutine? Like what type of like cut of the potato?
I would love to see In-N-Out fries well done, so they're super crispy outside. I would love to see those with poutine.
You still haven't wrote in the defense of In-N-Out fries, and that was like in March. When's that coming?
For what it's worth, I had to look up the different names of the cuts of fries because I forgot.
It seems like a kind of like, it's not a steak cut, but it's kind of close.
A fluffier version of the natural cut is what I typically want.
A little bit thicker, thick natural.
Yeah. It is the kind of
thick
fry,
naturals. Yes.
It is the kind of fry that I would be disappointed if I got with a burger. That's the kind of fry it is.
Okay.
Who is?
Oh,
what has happened?
The Pitt Girl was typing stuff.
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking about fake Burger King. Fake Burger King was 11 years ago. And Arthur and I know the guy who wrote the Twitter thread that got turned into the Cracked article about it.
Yeah, I found the Cracked article, the story of the Rogue Burger King.
I've got to read this because this is the first time hearing about this.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like he broke like local news had the story, and then he wrote that thread like years later.
Yeah, but then Crack kind of did the thing where they're like, "We found this thing on social media, and we're going to turn it into an article."
That's Sickos Committee poster crack.com. Thank you very much.
Wait, what?
They aggregate us?
They aggregated the Wienermobile tweet a while ago.
Okay. Congrats to us.
Mm-hmm.
We've made it.
Nebraska's Matt Rhule is out here wide receiver posting. Yesterday.
We just declared this the summer of Matt Rhule.
I didn't mean that.
Matt Rhule Summer.
Yes.
Matt Rhule Summer.
All right.
I need a whole calendar.
And
now we have Matt Rhule Summer.
Wait, Joey, did you do the Bananarama song like Cruel Summer?
No, I did the Taylor Swift song,
Cruel
Summer.
Wait.
Okay, but the Bananarama song is also a banger.
Matt Rhule Summer, yes.
Matt Rhule has tweeted, this was yesterday at 6:30 p.m., too many people have profited financially off of negativity and despair. Their time is over.
That's right. We're safe because we haven't profited.
Yes, haha, yes.
Our time is over? Our time is not.
Matt Rhule, have you looked at the news?
Look, I've emailed.
Have you looked at the news in the last 24 hours?
I'm gonna email Nebraska again because I already did. I'm gonna follow up with them because I asked to interview Matt Rhule.
Just to circle back around, we're at the Sickos Committee.
Yeah, that's right.
I just want to ask Matt Rhule if he has a New York Times subscription. That's all I want to know.
Does he have a double space after the period?
I hope so.
He might. My guy, you're not old enough to be doing that. We don't do that anymore.
Hey,
we don't
stop
have
it. I
typewriters
learned to do
He's
that
older
because I
than
learned
me.
on a typewriter.
Yeah,
I
on a
will
typewriter
fight
too.
you.
Yeah.
I have to go through and Control F for that in documents at actual job.
Hate that.
Because I have one person who's over 40 who does that.
Don't be double spacing after periods, man. Get out of here.
Thank you, Commish.
I hate it. Can't stand it.
you
Jordan's
have to
like,
understand.
Jordan's a double spacer. Look, I know it. Yeah.
100% I am. But here's the best part is that shit gets hidden for me nowadays because like in Word and other things, they'll adjust the spacing for me.
Right.
But Beth and I have something I didn't realize, I guess because we both came from
The before time.
underserved public schools. And we both learned to type on a typewriter.
Yes.
I learned to type on a typewriter in 1997.
God dang.
I was a
I
little
was
younger
old
than that.
by then, I promise.
Yeah, no,
Boy.
I learned to type on a 1950s era Royal typewriter. No electricity, just tip, 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 tip.
Damn. Okay.
Now,
It's fine. Pitt Girl and I are old now too because I looked on Spotify the other day and they had a playlist for hyperpop classics, and that's how it hit me that genre was invented 12 years ago. So, and I was there when I was like, oh, this is new and exciting, and now it's old and washed like me.
Now, Beth, I'll point out that this was from a typing class at school. So this was like we were all in a room all together. And I want to be very clear here that by 97, it was no longer common to have these things. This was well past computer had taken over.
So this was not for a typing class in school. In school, our classroom had the one Apple IIe that we all shared.
I've seen those. My grandparents had one.
And then there was a computer lab that you could reserve that had like 14 Apple IIes in it. And then randomly, like midway through junior high, all of a sudden, everywhere had a Gateway 2000. It was a very odd jump for me.
Oh my God.
We had one of those when I was a kid.
With all the cow boxes.
The cow boxes.
Yeah, oh God,
yes.
I forgot about the cow boxes.
Yeah.
Bring back the cow boxes. Return.
Like at home, like my typewriter didn't even have correction tape. Like I had to wipe that thing out.
Man.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
would
I had
also
one of
like
these
to
too.
take this moment to say return to Skittlemax. I want the Skittlemax back so badly.
Friend of the show, Becca, is going to scream at me about this. She's going to be like, you forgot about these 3 things when we were in school. I'll be like, I'm very sorry. Sorry,
Hi,
Becca.
friend of the show, Becca.
What is a Skittle Max?
The iMacs that came in a bunch of different colors.
Flavors.
Let me,
Oh, the IMAX. Yeah.
Searching the word Skittle Max with an X at the end did not bring anything up. So.
Are you on a watch list?
Probably no.
Wait, okay. Imagine like, so you know Pepsi Max where it was like more caffeine. I'm imagining Skittles Max now, caffeinated Skittles.
Yes, 100%.
That's coming.
oh,
You can
that
get
sounds-
diabetes faster. That's how that works, right?
Damn. Like,
It's the gas station energy pills, but they're Skittles.
Yeah, Joey, when I say Skittlemac, I mean the iMac G3.
Yeah, I once you said iMac, I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Damn. I can't
They
believe
had one of the. They have one of those in my elementary school, and I always wanted to go on. And they were like, "That's for the older kids." And then by the time I was an older kid, they didn't have it anymore.
Man, I was using computers in like 91, man.
I built my first
You're on
computer
IRC.
in like
I was
93.
tweeting in 91.
Those
Congratulations to you for posting when I was -4 years old.
Like like Jordan's like, I'm using the keyboard in 97. I'm like, dude, we had computer lab in like 3rd grade.
Well, we did too, but for some
We
reason,
had that, but I was using the Skittlemax, and they put us on the website that had the tree octopus to teach us about how things on the internet weren't always true.
For a while in a couple of the typing classes that we were in, they wanted you to use Courier New so that your projects would look as close to the same for the kids using typewriters as they would for the kids using computers.
okay, I buy it.
Okay.
Well, because you have to have equal. The whole point of typewriter is that, at least on the ass typewriters I was on, was that you
It's
have
equal width. Yeah.
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Plus, if they gave you like the fun assignment at the end where they're like, here's the special code, and if you type it just perfectly, it'll make up pictures. Otherwise, your scissors look all fucked.
shout out to Math Circus and Kid Picks, the 2 things I remember doing in computer lab.
Oh, I had in computer was Reader Rabbit, or what was the typing one that everyone did? Old folks, help me here.
Mavis Bacon.
I did the one that was like Race the Monkey, but I don't remember what it was called.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Holy shit, you're the first person I've talked to ever who know this shit. I'm very happy right now.
We had a lot of very old computer programs.
That doesn't make me feel better. Back it up.
You were good where you were. Overstepped it.
I will be over here still not being able to type air quotes correctly because we had like computer lab and computer skills class, but I just sort of cheesed my way through the typing exercises.
100%.
And so I type like this. For the most
There's
part.
a friend of mine who types entirely wrong, but types at like 90 some odd words, like at a decent rate of words per minute. It's horrifying to watch.
Oh, I also type pretty fast, but not correctly.
It's fucking horror movie where like the person
This is the Slender Man of typing.
To be fair, this should not be surprising given that I was also one of the children who was given the like special pencil grip because allegedly I hold the pen wrong, and even the special pencil grip could not break me of the fact that I hold a pencil like this.
Ugh. How do you
Beth?
control
Listener,
anything?
podcasting is a visual medium. Pitt Girl is gripping the tip of her pencil between her middle and ring finger.
Yep.
Beth,
my handwriting is atrocious.
I believe the game that we played was called Keyboard Climber. I found a picture of it.
Like
okay, that might be it. I'll go look.
I think this isn't. I think this is like a remaster though. I don't think this is the one I played when I was little.
How do you do anything? This is awful. This is worse than awful.
I've sent you pictures of my handwriting. It's not good.
I do this one.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
You're supposed. They're supposed to be like there's the little grippy things have like a little sideways like.
Yeah.
I need the control, so I use just the pinchy grip.
Yeah.
That's wild. Okay.
And listener, I am not left-handed.
Okay, we gotta go. We gotta do ad reads.
Right, Goofy style.
We're going to
I
ad
don't know.
reads.
I guess I'm young enough that I never took a typing class in school because by the time I was there, they made it optional because like most kids just already knew how to type somehow.
Yeah. They like half-ass the typing for people our age.
Let's go to our ad read. Beehive, join it. We have a bunch of things like forgotten NCAA records, the college football FA Cup, and other things we have in our brain. We also have our Patreon for $5 a month. Join our Discord. Get access to our special podcasts that are behind the paywall. And to come hang with us and chat with us during the week.
Yeah, we got one. The Dayton head coach interview with Trevor Andrews. Coach is going to be going up tomorrow on Wednesday. So when you hear this, but yeah, it'll be there.
We also have our merch store at sickoscommunity.org, our YouTube, our Instagram, our Twitch. Shout out to Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go the places we refuse to go. And as always, for the softest, comfiest licensed apparel for colleges and IndyCar and a bunch of other stuff, Homefield Apparel. Use offer code yes, yes, 3 ha's for 15% off your first order. Commish is wearing what are you wearing?
2014 Michigan State Rose Bowl shirt that I got in a mystery box.
I'm wearing a Goldie.
Swing your axle.
Swing your axe, NAU.
Commish just purchased for me a lovely rice band shirt.
Yes,
and
I have that one and I love it.
I need to get that one. I need to get that one.
That took a little while to get to him because he didn't tell me that they needed to ring a door code or something.
I forgot to tell you I live in an apartment building instead of a house. So they apparently just kept coming to the door of my apartment building, being like, "Don't have a buzzer code," and just leaving.
Okay.
Next time, tell me.
Yeah.
So we have officially Texas State is going to the Pac-12.
Yes.
That is broken as official finally.
Finally. They did a hype video.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, our favorite mascot, Boko, is not the one they use anymore.
No.
Boko is haram, I believe we said.
Yeah. Look, man, they were like, we're trying to go to the Pac-12. We got to straighten out, they had to get some cosmetic surgery for their mascot. They got
like Star Wars extra Boko.
There is the duck-shaped hole
That the
in the
Pac-12 needed to
mascot.
fill.
Yeah, like, and
And
I mean,
Star Wars Extra Boko
Look, I mean, you
has the ability to fill that hole.
got some good mascots in
think
the
about the
new
pictures
Pac-12.
of puddles that we got, like leading up to the Big Ten
Mhm.
entrance of Oregon.
Yeah,
Can you imagine how cursed that would have been with Boko? That would have been great.
could have been amazing.
What I'm hearing is Texas State to the Big Ten.
So we have
Eventually.
now what Sunbelt Commissioner said about Texas State leading, because they had not said anything for a while.
No, they were just quiet.
And so here's what we have from Keith Gill. With Texas State's recent announcement on its planned departure from the Sun Belt Conference, I want to personally take a moment and thank the Bobcat staff for their collaboration and leadership through a transformative era in college athletics, from the 2019 COVID pandemic to name, image, and likeness in the most recent round of realignment. Since expanding to 14 football-playing members, the Sun Belt Conference has experienced its best 3-year stretch in the conference's nearly 50-year history. Over the span, we've done all these things, blah, 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 blah. I will continue to update our stakeholders on developments wherever possible as we work to ensure the sustained rise of the Sun Belt Conference, a collection of like-minded regional rivals with winning football traditions, passionate fan bases, and enduring commitments to excellence in all sports. The Sun Belt Conference is rising, and our best days are ahead.
I found an extremely crazy picture of Boko with the cheerleaders.
Yes.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Tusky Bobcat.
Mm-hmm.
So per sources, Sunbelt is looking at La Tech and Western Kentucky. But Western Kentucky comes with a girlfriend.
Yes, that's why they didn't go to the MAC, because Western Kentucky wanted to go to the MAC, but they would only take Middle Tennessee, and the MAC did not want Middle Tennessee.
Would Western
But it's
Kentucky
worth
refuse
it
to
just
go
to have Big
the Sun
Red.
Belt without Middle Tennessee? Because like their objection to going to the MAC without Middle Tennessee was like like they wanted that geographical partner. If you're Western Kentucky, like you're not even in the same state. It's not like there's a state government thing.
No.
I mean, there's schools near like Marshall, I guess is the whole other side of Kentucky, but like that's not terrible. Arkansas State, probably the closest Sunbelt school to Western Kentucky. I wonder which is closer, actually, Arkansas State or probably still Middle. But you know, like it's not. I would not expect Western Kentucky to have the same kind of loyalty that they had the last time.
I don't think they will either. Since the one thing that I think would happen, which being a ULM fan, I would prefer Western Kentucky, honestly, just because I'm like, I don't necessarily think we need 3 schools in Louisiana in the Sun Belt.
Because you don't want La Tech back. Just say it. It's okay to say it and admit it. They can go fuck themselves. Just say it.
Look, whatever the AD said for La Tech in 2021 still rings in my head. If you don't know what it is, you can look it up. But whatever the athletic director said still rings in my head. And there's a lot of hating. It's fine. It's okay. La Tech is better than ULM apparently in their heads. It's fine. Whatever. I would prefer Western Kentucky because, I mean, give me Big Red and Yosef in App State. Give me that, please. As a, Eastern matchup, like Sunbelt East. Give me that. I kind of like that because it kind of expands the footprint a little bit more. And like adding La Tech is just like, oh, okay, here's another school in Louisiana. One thing is like if Western Kentucky does go to the Sun Belt, which would be cool, that's Western Kentucky was kind of like the only thing stopping Eastern Kentucky from joining Conference USA. So that may trigger Eastern Kentucky joining Conference USA, and then Middle Tennessee has their Kentucky partner. So,
yeah.
And Eastern Kentucky is a storied program. They have a lot of...
Those are the Colonels?
The Colonels, yes. The Colonels. They have a lot of like FCS titles back in the day when the playoff was first starting. They were a powerhouse.
Let's talk about our new members, because we are up to 136 FBS teams for the coming season.
Oh yeah.
Woohoo!
That means, on average, once the season actually gets going, that is 68 games per week. And it's worse than weeks
A
one.
March Madness every weekend.
And it's way worse early in the season. We forget this. We memory hole it every time. But the weeks when they're all playing FCS teams and there's 136 games on is the worst. I mean,
Are you excited to rank and sort?
We don't rank FCS games, so that's fine.
It
Just
makes
keep
it hard
saying
in
that.
a different way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just keep saying that over and over again.
Well, there's only 4 games we can rank.
Yeah, this happens every fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
Week 0.
So, yeah, or week 1.
Week 6. We just put out a menu. We can do ratings. That's what we do. We just call it week 6.
Week 0 is fine because most of those are okay. It's the week 1 that's going to be the bad one.
Week 1
So-
is difficult. Yes.
So here's what we have new. The moves that happened today. Delaware and Missouri State officially joined Conference USA. And UMass goes to the MAC, back to the MAC. They were there before for 3 or 4 years. And then they left. But now they are back, which I think was a great move for them. A lot of their sports work perfectly well in the MAC.
Great for everything but basketball.
Right.
Their
And-
basketball was happier in the A10, but everything else is better in the MAC.
So now we are down to only 8 states without FBS football team.
Mm-hmm.
If you have not looked in the show notes, can you tell me those states?
Maine,
1,
Alaska.
2,
The Dakotas,
3, 4,
Yes.
New Hampshire,
5,
Montana,
6,
Rhode Island.
7,
Vermont.
Vermont.
8. That's it.
Good.
How many of those don't have FCS football?
Just Alaska, right?
Vermont.
Oh,
Yeah,
Vermont
Alaska.
as well.
Yeah.
Vermont, Alaska. And
Go Catamounts.
Catamounts undefeated since 1974.
Go Nanooks, undefeated since ever.
Yes.
no, Fairbanks had that bowl game. It was, but it wasn't the school, was it?
It
was the
wasn't
Ice
the
Bowl.
Nanooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the Ice Bowl. It was kind of like, it was like a base versus, it was like 4 years they played the Ice Bowl, which I still don't
That's
know
right.
why they did this.
Everybody else too scared. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean, it was too cold.
People were trying to come up with various, what needs to happen to make this list smaller. The best one I saw was
It was the Nanooks. Sorry. They are 1-3 all time. Or sorry, they are 1 and 2 all time. 2 ties. Or is that 1-2?
they were talking about what they needed to do to get this list smaller. And my favorite one, like I said, was Maine and Rhode Island to the MAC or the ACC. Hell yeah.
ACC.
That would be from Miami to Maine.
Okay, that's kind of a vibe, and you could have Miami, Maine be like the Route 1 challenge.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see,
I think-
I'm into that.
you're into this.
We always talk about
Also,
the
Pitt at Maine. I'm into it.
The
I'm
fun
just
on
down for
Route
the
1.
Cuban lobster roll.
Oh.
Sold.
we always talk about the West Coast kind of gap in that there's no WAC anymore. It's just the Mountain West. There's no real Northeast G5 either. That's the problem. We need Delaware, Maine, Rhode Island, and all them to be in one G5 conference.
Oh,
New
God.
Big East. New Big East.
New
Yes,
Yankee
exactly.
Conference.
Army,
Bring the Yankee Conference back.
Sacred Heart, and Merrimack. This is your shot. Come up to the FBS level.
See?
It'll go great for you, I'm sure.
That's what they need to do. What
Yeah.
Merrimack needs to fucking do is go up to FBS. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Sacred Heart, who our friend of the show, Naki, went there and said, "Oh yeah, the visiting stands and field are just gone."
Beth, you know what you need to do this year. You need to go to one of the last games of St. Francis D1 football.
I should.
This is their last year in D1.
We should.
We should.
Our football team.
That's right. Hey, they're the Red Flashes for a reason.
Why?
Our football
Oh,
team.
thank you. That was good.
Alley-oop,
Pirate
straight off the
communists.
rim.
Just came directly back off the rim and smacked Jordan in the forehead. Yep. Yeah.
We're good at basketball is what I'm hearing.
I watched my kid do basketball practice again tonight, y'all. And they won their last game, which is great. My kid scored last time. Great. But Guys, watching little kids practice basketball is like they're trying to get them to do passing drills and not even close.
The many bounces pass.
Did anyone else here play high school basketball?
No.
I did.
I did, and I scored a grand total of 4 points for my entire career.
That's 4 more than I scored.
I didn't play varsity. I played JV. But yeah, I did play.
Puddles was a D1 basketball player. I don't know what happened to those genes, but I didn't get them.
I played.
Some of your brothers are beefy boys.
Yeah.
I played. I still remember the one time that I scored in the game. So I was a freshman playing on the JV team, and I got knocked to the ground. And then somehow the rebound made it to me. So I'm on the ground. I'm sitting on my butt, essentially. And then I throw it up and bank it in for the point. And then like a junior like gets in my face, was like, "Don't you ever do that again." And that's all I just remember. That's all I remember. I was like, "Why?" I was just like, I'm down on the ground. There's nobody. Like I couldn't pass to anybody. I was like, "Look, I was trying to shoot it." And I shot it and it went in. I banked it in for a layup. And I got yelled at by the teammate. But I'm like, "Hey, we got 2 points."
I mean, I only ever played basketball in gym class. I still remember, like, I grab a rebound, I hear somebody on the other team be like, "How'd you let Arthur grab a rebound?"
You were the measuring stick. That's what's important.
I was a 6'0" gangly white boy, so I wore a t-shirt under my jersey just as a bit.
I wasn't even that tall, Joey. It's fine. I could just shoot. I could shoot mid-range shots. That's it.
I was sent to join a basketball team with a couple of my more athletic siblings, and that was a thing that happened. It was like Squid Game, and it looked like a squid trying to play a game.
I thought it was like Squid Game because there was so much destruction and misery.
I mean, I've never seen Squid Game, but sure.
Are there squids?
I am just thinking about this in the context of the fact that Beth is the shortest member of the podcast and I'm 5'4".
Oh, Beth is pocket-sized.
I like to think tall thoughts.
Well,
whom among us?
You can't see my 3 stepladders in the background of my shot, and I'm kind of sad about that now.
That's fine. It's like Tom Cruise playing Jack Reacher.
We do have basketball news. Basketball video game news. This is from Matt Brown, who broke this, I believe.
It was Matt Brown, yes.
Brown.
And then, like, he got mad at EA because he broke it, and then, like, 7 minutes later, EA made the announcement. That's messed up.
They knew it was coming. That's why. Like, it wasn't even really an announcement. It was just like, "Hey, it's happening."
My exclusive.
That's why I loved our announcement about Dayton football going.
Nobody was scooping us.
Nobody's scooping us for Dayton football news.
That's the second news we've broken on Blue Sky. There was that and the Cure Bowl, because we happened to be sitting next to the guy who was picking the Cure Bowl teams at the MAC championship.
Oh, someday we're going to be like Swim Slam, guys. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Hey, one of these days Clemson's going to the Big Ten. I swear to God.
Same with UVA. They're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The news from the game is that they're going to have women's basketball included.
Hell
So it's
yeah.
going to have upwards of 730 teams. That is a lot.
That's why they're not coming out until 2028. You got a lot of work to do there. I'm excited. I used to play the basketball game and the March Madness. I would always like play with. God, I think it was like Farley Dickinson. And like when you would play online and you'd have your headset on, like in the infancy of online days before you had like the rooms or anything like that. And somebody had like the number one team is like, "I don't want to play you. Like you're playing with Fairleigh Dickinson or whatever." And I'm like, "I don't know, just kick my ass. I just want to play and get better." and so he proceeded to kick my ass, but it wasn't as bad as he thought it was going to be. So that game was fun. I love taking teams from one bid leagues and get them into the NCAA tournament. I would never win the tournament because my team was not great, but it was a fun game to play. I look forward to that coming back.
Yeah, I'm excited to. And by the way, as the Sickos committee was the Sickos committee thing to do was to boot up and immediately play ULM home game.
Yeah.
The Sickos committee in this thing in this one is going to be boot up and play USC Upstate home game.
That's right.
In
In
their
the
time.
18 seat arena, UC Upstate, that is going to be the official team of the Sickos committee for that one.
So they're going to have to make more than half that number of stadiums, of arenas.
Well,
Because
maybe.
all the men's plus where the women play. For some of them, that's different.
Somewhat different, but yeah.
I could see them getting away with not putting the women's arenas in and just having them play in the men's arenas with a different floor, but
I mean,
that's EA's problem, not mine.
The majority of them play in the same stadium, not all.
Well, that's why I said like a minimum number that they are going to have to do is like 380.
I will say that they might not necessarily do every team's arena. That's not included in the reporting here. It just that all the teams and the players are going to be there. So you could have, especially some of the smaller leagues, maybe playing at generic or small arena.
That's bullshit.
If you remember the college baseball games, there was, if you played as a team from the Sun Belt or the or whatever, they would put them in Cornrow Stadium, which was literally just a field in a farmer's field, which was fantastic.
They do that in I guess it's EA like soccer now. Like they used to they do like generic versions of the stadiums for like the lower league teams. They don't have every stadium.
Shout out to Town Park,
which
was when I did my career mode with a player. I got stuck in the Irish League for many years, and because they just wouldn't let me transfer because I was too valuable to them, and every team played in the same stadium.
Yeah, it was Town Park all the time. It was just the same thing. And then sometimes you get lucky. There's the one with like the track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of the college baseball game, I hope they do with the college basketball game what they did with the college baseball game, which was instead of the fight songs, they took college radio songs, which was fantastic. Shout out to The Forecast, one of my favorite bands of all time, who I discovered from the college baseball video games.
Town Park.
We love college radio.
Other things going on. Our Minnesota Aurora, and when I say "our," I mean we own part of them.
We do. Community owners.
In the USLW League, they've made the playoffs. They're taking on the Pittsburgh Riveters on Friday. Arthur's going.
Go Riveters!
And I told Arthur that he has to be a true neutral. He has to wear all gray and be a true neutral here.
Oh, Homestead Grays. Great.
Yeah.
Was that the team that didn't have a home stadium in the Frontier League?
The Homestead Grays? That was the Negro League team in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the Grays.
Oh.
The Negro League baseball team.
Frontier League. Oh, they were called the Frontier Grays is the team I was thinking of. They were literally a team without a home stadium, and they would just
one of two
play all
Negro League teams in Pittsburgh. The Crawfords were also a thing.
Yeah, the Grays are the ones that are most prominently represented all over the place at PNC Park.
Yes.
As well they should be.
Mm-hmm.
Other news. We talked before about John Oliver is going to work with the Erie Seawolves minor league baseball team to do a rebrand. And they have come up with it. They are the Moon Mammoths.
Is there going to be merch?
There's merch.
I love this so much.
There is merch already.
There's a mascot. Let me find it for you.
All right, we're going to go looking right now.
There already is merch. There's everything. They're gonna keep adding more and more and more.
Oh, that jersey is sweet.
Yeah, and there was a cool story behind it because, like John Oliver said, they were going to go into the local history. There is something called the Moon Mammoth in Erie.
Yeah,
so very cool.
They found the bones, and then it was only available in the museum, I think, for one day ever. But because they were too delicate, but they have mammoth bones apparently in the local museum, which is great.
I like the gray
hat.
hat.
The mascot's so cute. I love this. I love all of this. Listener, podcasting is a visual medium. The moon mammoth is a purple mammoth, and he's very fluffy, and he's got like a bubble over his head because he's in space.
The best part is he's wearing moon boots.
Yes.
So you can buy your own Moon Mammoth gear if you'd like, if it's not all sold out by now.
Not all. The Erie Sea Wolves. I reached out to them, and they said that they're going to be adding additional Moon Mammoth merch. So folks have been asking for like polo shirts, a couple of other like they're gonna try to, I believe, get a stuffed animal.
Yes.
But they said that they could only meet the product deadline for so many things when they wanted to announce the team name and the game for the team. So there's going to be more stuff coming for this merch wise, but yeah, this is going to be fun. I think they're playing on the 19th of July, or am I wrong here?
It is the 19th of July.
Okay.
Oh, most of the things are actually pre-orders, so they haven't run out of basically anything.
Right.
There is an important piece of news, and I know I've been gone a lot recently, and I'm sorry about that.
We missed you.
Yeah, I missed you guys too. But my hometown did the world a favor 2 weeks ago. And they were having a sci-fi con where they invited the entire cast of Twilight and fed them Altoona pizza.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes.
We gave Robert Pattinson Altoona pizza. We gave Kristen Stewart Altoona pizza.
They deserve better than that.
Altoona pizza is nice, said actor Jackson Rathbone, who played Jasper Hale in the saga. I'm not a pizza guy, though. I'm a cheeseburger man.
That's the nicest way of saying this is garbage.
Yep.
I would eat it. Again, I'm not afraid of like. I will eat it. I will try it.
Apparently, they got several local places that are still doing their best crack at Altoona pizza, and they had like basically a tasting party.
Did they get Anna Kendrick for this?
I do not think so.
Twilight. She plays one of the friends.
It appears to be a lot of bit characters.
Yes, I would imagine.
Help,
I mean, I've been to the Blair County Convention Center. It's, it's fine for here.
Jackson Rathbone says, that Altoona style was something else.
It was something else.
Okay. Next up on the list, a very threatening social media post from Skyline Chili. Skyline, of course, is the maker of fine Ohioan chili, the very Cincinnati-ish kind of like with cinnamon and shit like that. Beth, I posted a picture of the canoe in the chat again because I love the canoe.
Oh my God. I was waiting for the canoe.
You got to make it like a canoe so it fits all the chili.
Part the canoe. Just the most horrifying.
Well, now Skyline Chili is available in cans in New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, and Alaska. You're welcome, West Coast.
Skyline to the Pac-12.
No, this is Big 12 country now. Or Big 10 country.
Mountain
That's
West.
why Skyline's making the move.
Cincinnati to the Big 10.
Oh.
It's time to post my favorite EDSBS article of all time. Is Cincinnati chili gumbo?
I mean,
and I say yes, it is. Cincinnati chili is a form of gumbo.
Commish is doing the fry squint.
Oh, this is the okay.
It's a deconstructed pizza.
This is from Action Cookbook. I thought it was a different one. Okay, it's the same one. I'm like, yeah, it's
no argument from Commish here.
I'm gonna say
he's nodding his face yes for you guys at home who can't see.
Jordan, what kind of noodles do you use to make a Texas chili?
I mean, a real good orecchiette, I think, is something to hold your sauce. I was trying to figure out what the worst thing on the menu is at a Skyline. And I need to explain this to you, that they have a burrito now.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Skyline,
I don't need to see the staff instructional video for how to make this thing. I don't want to see it.
Can you imagine how squidgy it is to fold up?
Oh God. Can you imagine I don't even remember what they call the extra wet.
Yeah, I was going to say
Can I get my burrito juicy way?
It's juicy, yeah.
It's that horrible. Pitt Girl, was it you that sent me the TikTok for the all the wets burrito?
No. I mean, I would have, but that was not me.
Before I deleted my TikTok.
You can get chili cheese fries, and you can actually just get a plate of fries. They will just sell that to you.
Yeah, don't even have to get chili on top of the fries.
That's called getting your fries zero way.
They have a vegetarian menu.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's 2025.
Fries and cheese.
Get with it.
The vegan menu would be more difficult for them to pull off.
So apparently they made a special black beans and rice thing for the burritos. So they will get you spaghetti with black beans and rice on top of it, chopped with cheddar cheese.
Perfect.
Yeah, man.
Would.
And how much Swiss mix are they putting in their black beans?
Yeah, spaghetti and rice together is tough.
That's so carby. They do have
at that point, just have a spaghetti taco, like for my Carly.
At one point, they have 3 salads listed. How many of those salads do you think have chili on them?
1.
2.
Someone take 3 so we can cover
Imagining it's like a chicken chili Caesar salad.
I'm going to say none because the salad actually goes on top of the chili.
Oh.
Beth is right, but for the wrong reason. None of these have chili.
Whoa. No chili.
They have a Greek salad, a buffalo chicken salad, and a garden salad.
I want a hat that says Beth is right, but for the wrong reason.
You can also get a 3-way potato. Why does that sound worse?
No.
Oh, that
like
does
a
sound
baked
right.
Put you on a.
So it's like a baked potato with like chili.
Oh yeah,
Idaho
yeah.
Nights.
Okay.
Yeah, that could work.
That's just a potato. That
Instead
can't
of
be within 500
like
yards
the
of pool.
spaghetti, yeah, I'd probably go that way.
I heard that, Beth. I appreciate that.
I'm still taking psychic damage from reading that article again about is Skyline chili gumbo. Oh my
It
God.
is.
It's not. So I'll just leave it at that.
Mr. Cookbook makes a compelling argument.
Every point,
and he's an architect, so he's smart.
Every point has been refuted in my mind, so we're good.
We have an update about Goldie the Gopher showing up at a lesbian wedding.
Yes.
He's got that shit on.
He does.
Which is not the setup for a joke, I promise you here.
This is the same wedding that we talked about like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yes.
and this is the one where we set out a spreadsheet to get the wedding costs, and like a lot of the committee helped out, but for some odd reason I probably did about like 80 or 90 schools because I was on a roll myself.
Yeah, you were cooking. I was planning on coming in and helping, and I was planning on coming in and helping, and I was like, he's got it.
I'm just flying through this. So if we remember the viral thing that went on Blue Sky where Goldie the Gopher was at a lesbian wedding in Minnesota, and we like there was a viral skeet, and so I did the article on it, and then I searched everything based off of just a viral skeet, that's the best things that the committee does. We do stupid, really time consuming things off of larks and stupid. It's like let's do this. Let's map out this. Let's just do this. And the person that was in the wedding actually wrote an article about Goldie being in her wedding, which is incredible. It says, "It happened to me. Goldie the Gopher came to my wedding." It's from the Racket, based on Racket, Minnesota. We'll probably link that. But one thing that I was reading the article and I was like, Goldie cost a flat cost $400. I was like, yes, I got that correct. I was like really happy. Like I had the mascot cost of Goldie nailed. I was like, yes, further confirmation. So
We do love multiple sources.
it was this is a great article, a great read. It was basically like a timeline of events leading up to Goldie coming to her wedding, which is incredible. And then there's a picture of like Goldie looking like Goldie's marrying both of them as like the article, and it's phenomenal. It was something like, you're having a rough day, especially today, and you read something like that, it kind of like
Goldie's gone woke. It's fantastic.
Goldie has gone woke. It's fantastic, but it's Man, a fantastic article. Check it out. We'll probably link it in our chat too if we haven't already.
I'll put it there now.
So we have a forgotten record in audio form tonight, Commish.
Yes.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
I was doing the seemingly forgotten NCAA records on the Beehive blog, which there's a bunch of them. I don't even know how many I did. I was doing like one a week for, I have no idea how many weeks I've done. And like towards the end, I was like, okay, I recognize this record. I think everybody recognizes this record. Or some of the records weren't necessarily like compelling. Like they're not going to be good storytelling. Like, hey, yeah, this happened. It's like, oh, this is a record. Or a lot of these records, they're not forgotten. And so like I was looking for records that either the school didn't celebrate them, there's no mention of it on the wiki page, or, you know, again, there's, you know, on like the year or the season, whatever, like nobody mentions it. And it's never been a topic of conversation anywhere. There's a couple of records that I was thinking I was going to write about. There was one that, you know, it's like most consecutive overtime games. And so I'm looking at FBS, and it's like, there's like a lot of people that played in 2 consecutive overtime games. I'm like, okay. And most recent, it was BYU versus Tennessee, and then BYU versus USC in back-to-back weeks. So I'm like, okay, that's just 2. And then like there's a bunch of people that have 2. I'm like, oh, that's not that great. So I kept searching for more records. I didn't find more that I liked. And kind of I went towards the ties because I'm like, hey, you know, there's not many ties anymore. They stopped having ties in like 95 in FBS. The one that I found that I was kind of interested in, it was the highest scoring tie game ever in NCAA history. It was BYU versus San Diego State in 1991 on November 16th. It was 52-52.
That is so many points to determine nothing.
Just the tie to determine nothing. That's right. So I went to go like look for that one on the San Diego State side. There's like no mention of the record. I looked at the BYU side. They got like video. They have like people interviewed about the crazy tie because apparently BYU had a crazy comeback just to tie the game.
Okay, that makes sense. It's on their side.
So from their side, you know, it was kind of like San Diego State blowing a lead. And then BYU was like, hey, this is amazing. I can't believe we came back from this many points down. I've done Patreon podcasts on the most tie games in a season. Temple 1937 had 4. UCLA 1939 had Jackie Robinson on the team, had 4. Central Michigan, I've done a Patreon podcast on 1991 Central Michigan that had 4 ties. The most scoreless tie games in a season was Temple 1937. They played 9 games and they tied 4 games 0-0.
That is just...
We put the O in owl.
That's correct.
Nightmare. That's nightmare shit.
There were some other ones.
Why did this sport ever take off? It's a stupid sport.
They were on. If I was on defense on that team, I think I would probably just start throwing hands.
Honestly,
you're apparently going to get an equal number of hands thrown right back.
then I was looking at some other things associated with the ties. It's like most consecutive scoreless tie games, and it was Georgia Tech in 1938. They tied Florida 0-0, and then they tied Georgia 0-0 the week after that in 1938. But I was like, okay, this is not necessarily forgotten because apparently Alabama did it in 1954. So Alabama tied Georgia again. Georgia's involved in this. And then the next week they tied Tulane 0-0. And so I'm looking at all these records and I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, the last tie game we know, Wisconsin, Illinois, 1995.
No, but not true. Oh, D1 FBS.
D1. I know there was another one due to weather recently.
Yes.
Which, you know, again, that only made halftime and they just called it a tie, whatever. Then the last scoreless tie, which was affectionately known as the Toilet Bowl Civil War game, 1983, Oregon State. I did a Patreon podcast on that. I think one of our Patreon folks watched the YouTube video and did a drive summary for me. I think it was NDSU, Matt. I'm not 100% sure.
That is just...
They did a drive summary, and then I did it on a Patreon podcast. So it's behind the Patreon paywall. So I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of out of records. Let me dip into FCS a little bit here. And so I went to FCS. And I was looking for ties. I was looking for overtime. And now FCS got rid of ties in like the 1980. Like 1980, they got rid of ties.
Okay.
Because we talked about the case for case. He had an overtime game, triple overtime game against Weber State. First overtime game in Big Sky Conference history in 1981.
Oh, okay.
So there were ties there. But OT was fully installed in FBS in 1990, after 1995, 96. FCS had it early. So I was like, let me go and see what we got OT-wise on the FCS side of things. So I found something that beat the most consecutive overtime games of FBS. I'm ready to talk to you about 2006, the PENN Quakers.
Now, this was after my time.
Yeah.
I didn't know these PENN Quakers.
You didn't know these PENN Quakers. So the PENN Quakers, 2006, they were coached by a gentleman by the name of Al Bagnoli.
Yeah, he was there forever.
Yeah, that tracks. Honestly, that's very Philadelphia.
So he was in his 15th season with the PENN Quakers. So Al Bagnoli, head coach, he is he's only won Ivy League Coach of the Year once, but he won 9 Ivy League championships with Penn.
Wow, when no one fucking likes you. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, he won
That's how
Ivy League championships.
He worked for Penn.
That's how you know you work for Penn. So he won Ivy League championships in 93, 94, 98, 2000, 2002, 2003, 2009, 2010, 2012. He didn't win Ivy League Coach of the Year in any of these seasons that he won the Ivy League championship.
That's weird.
Well, I mean, is it? I feel like it. Penn has always sort of struck me as one of the Ivy League schools that is better at football, and so
Yes.
it is kind of like giving Nick Saban Coach of the Year. Like, yes, very good coach, but also you have so many structural advantages.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's also like a pretty common thing with these Coach of the Years is you don't give it to you never ever give it to the winner unless it's a complete underdog. You give it to, hey, you did the best under circumstances.
Chris Creighton, come on down.
That's kind of how he won Coach of the Year in 2017. He left Penn in 2014 and he went to Columbia. So he won Coach of the Year with Columbia in 2017, making Columbia 8-2. And so he won Coach of the Year, but he did not win the Ivy League title that year.
Columbia hasn't won an Ivy title in fucking till this year.
Columbia
61.
They didn't
It was
win.
61. They won this last year. They won a share of it in 2024.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because the nerds share.
Not anymore.
Here's what I think it is with the specifically the Ivy League teams not giving it to the Coach of the Year to the top team, because I feel like they see how the team does and they say like, okay, if you're coaching that team, you should be making the playoff. But then the Ivy Leagues, they don't go to the playoff. So like just the top league of the teams in terms of Coach of the Year, it's like, well, you didn't meet expectations.
So they were coached by this gentleman, Al. His name was Aldo P. Al Bagnoli.
Whoa.
Yes.
What?
Oh, that's
Aldo
incredible.
P.
Okay, good to know.
I don't even know.
Isn't that a rapper?
Sure.
El Dopey.
Run the
Aldo
Jewels.
P.
I was going to say an Italo disco producer.
That too.
So he was from let me see, where did they say? They don't even list where he's from.
He's from
Schenectady.
No, he was at Union there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It doesn't say where he's from. Al Bagnoli from parts unknown. So let's talk about 2006 PENN Quaker football. He didn't win Coach of the Year for Penn this year. This was Al Bagnoli's 15th season. Little did Al know that he was about to experience an NCAA record in agonizing defeats in the season.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Okay.
That is such a brutal way to talk about it, but yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking about an NCAA record, but I'll explain it a little bit further here. So, to start the season, the Quakers were at number 22 Lafayette. They won 22-11. What a weird score. They went back home to Franklin Field. They lost to Villanova 27-20. They beat Dartmouth in Franklin Field 17-10. They went on the road at Bucknell and won 34-24. Back home in Franklin Field, they beat Columbia 16-0. Now, they started 4-1 through their fifth game. And after that fifth placed game in their schedule, look out, gut-wrenching heartaches lie ahead. Little did he know. Game 1, they play Yale at the Yale Bowl in New Haven, Connecticut. This game went to overtime, of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In overtime, Penn only got as far as the Yale 19-yard line. Apparently, it was incredibly windy.
That's not how... Oh, you're not putting yourself in a position to win, buddy.
No, but it was incredibly windy this entire game. There was a couple of different things. It was 14-14. There was a weird kick that was a kickoff that was recorded as an onside kick because the wind was so strong. It says the play officially was recorded as an onside kick, yet the good field position was wasted. That's
because the statistician's like, I don't want to screw up this poor kicker's stats for the entire season.
So this was like, they took advantage of the crazy winds, but now the wind is at their back in overtime. And Penn only gets to the Yale 19-yard line. They tried a field goal, which had the distance, but the kick hit the right upright and doinked and bounced away.
Doink!
Doink. Penn doink. 2000.
Hang on, let me just tweet doink from the account.
Do it.
As opposed to Penn Dot, which is allegedly responsible for road maintenance.
Penn doink.
Burn. Got him. Got him.
On its possession, Yale was only able to get to Penn's 18, but their kicker made the field goal from 35, and the Quakers fall short in overtime. So this is going to be a streak of consecutive overtime games. This is just game 1.
Commish, may I pause
Yes.
between game 1 and game 2?
Go right ahead.
Because I have done some Googling about Al Bagnoli, and courtesy of PennAthletics.com, I have some biographical information about him.
Please.
Is he from parts unknown?
Aldo Bagnoli took a slightly different path from that of your usual successful football coach. He was born in Campobasso, Italy, about 60 miles inland from Naples. After his father and his 2 uncles immigrated to the United States, Bagnoli came over accompanied by his mother, his 7-year-old sister, and his 9-year-old brother. He was 5 and did not speak a word of English. Quote, "That voyage of 7 days across the North Atlantic through some choppy seas," Bagnoli recalled. "I'm not good on the water, so this trip was not great. My memory was like, oh boy." He arrived at Highland Elementary School in East Haven, Connecticut, too late to attend kindergarten, so he was moved up to first grade. Jumping forward a little bit, his first grade teacher spoke fluent Italian. He attended East Haven High School and Central Connecticut State, then grad school at UAlbany.
There we go. That's more than I ever needed to know about Al Bagnoli.
There we go.
But now we know.
But now we know about Aldo.
Back to the show.
More like Al.
Anybody who has to learn American rules football to coach it second after growing up with Italian rules football is my favorite.
I love calling association football Italian rules football. I'm gonna do that forever now.
Italian rules football.
What about more like Al Bag of D's nuts?
It's okay. I can cut that.
Just no, hit the 3-pointer button, but like sarcastically.
Throwing a little extra air horn in there just for you, Pitt Girl.
Thank you.
No disaster. Moving on to game 2. The next game.
Ding, ding, ding.
Brown versus Penn. It's at Franklin Field at high noon.
Surely you won't lose to a color.
Surely they won't do that. Apparently it's on CBS Sports Network.
Oh, hell yeah.
That existed then.
Apparently I clicked on it and it says it was CBS Sports Network. It says CSTV.
Yeah, they used to send you text messages to your Motorola Razr.
That's right. The ESPN phone.
You had to pay by the character.
Thank God. I wish you could have had that, but it'd be so expensive.
Are you sure CSTV is CBS Sports Network and not like a Comcast Sports Network?
No, I clicked on
Apparently, it used to be called College Sports Television before it was
College
renamed
Sports
to CBS
Television
Sports.
before
Oh,
it was.
okay.
Yes. So this is on CBS. I said, I wonder if I got the music. Da, 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 da,
Da, da, da, da.
live from Franklin Field. It's the Brown Bears. And then Chris Berman comes in. Whoop!
The PENN Quakers.
The PENN
Da,
Quakers.
da, 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 da.
Quakers. With the toast Zamboni.
The Toast Zamboni.
That's right.
Da, 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 da.
So I'm just going to read the game here because they're playing Brown. If there's any truth to the phrase, the game that got away, Penn coach Al Bagnoli has been on the sideline for 2 such games and back-to-back weeks. Coming off an overtime loss to Yale on October 21st, the Quakers needed to rebound yesterday afternoon against Brown. That didn't happen.
Jesus.
Penn slides.
Shout out to the Inquirer, honestly.
Yeah, this
Great
is from the
newspaper.
Inquirer. Jesus.
Penn slide into the Ivy League standings
Philly paper
continued.
shit.
At Franklin Field, where 11,177 fans watched the Quakers drop their second consecutive overtime game, a 30-27 decision to the visiting Bears. Brown kicker Steve Morgan made it official with a 25-yard field goal in overtime after Penn's Derek Zach missed a field goal, a 26-yard field goal attempt wide right. Bagnoli acknowledged that the Quakers had opportunities to put away the Bears, but he said his team let those opportunities fade. When you let a team hang, well, that's going to happen. The loss left the Quakers with a 4-3 overall record and 2-2 mark in the league. Penn had 2 10-point leads in the third quarter, in part because of chances created by the Quakers' defensive back, Scott Williams and Chris Wynn. Williams had 2 interceptions, turned a fumble recovery into an 18-yard touchdown, and made a crucial tackle to put a stop on 4th and 1 on a Brown fourth quarter possession. If you're in the right place at the right time, you'll make the plays, said Williams. It was much of the same for Wynn. The freshman found a crease in the wedge and then broke to the outside for a 98-yard kick return for a touchdown in the third quarter. The kick return was the longest for Penn since 1955. The touchdown gave the Quakers a 27-17 lead for their final points of the day. It wasn't enough to save off another crushing defeat, Bagnoli said, but Penn had a chance until the final whistle of regulation with the score tied at 27. Williams came up with his second interception of the day. After making the pick, he handed off to a teammate who ran out of bounds with no time on the clock.
Oh,
Jesus.
I thought there was 1 second left. Just imagine Al Bagnoli going, 1, like Mac Brown. 1.
Oh, see,
Is it
I'm like imagining
Is he doing
Al Bagnoli handshake Nick Saban.
Yeah, that's a better one.
love of Italian food.
He thought there was 1 second left. Ultimately, Brown quarterback Joe. I can't even say this name's even more Italian than Bagnoli.
Joe DiGiacomo.
Welcome to Philadelphia.
But he's
DiGiacomo.
playing at Brown. In Rhode Island.
Also, this is Beth. Please correct me, but like this is DiGiacomo, correct?
DiGiacomo.
Like, you're muted.
DG Como? I would say DG Como.
DiGiacomo.
I would say DiGiacomo.
DiGiacomo.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not Italian.
Well, both of you.
I'm not either, but I am from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, both of you are broken pronunciation-wise. You don't get a vote in this. Yeah,
So-
Beth, I'm sorry. We know this is true.
He was
You
too
need to
much
get
to
more
handle
wine.
for Penn. A Central Bucks West graduate, so apparently he's from the Philly area.
So it is definitely
Yeah, it's definitely
Giacomo.
Giacomo.
All right. He connected.
Pennsylvania as hell.
He connected for the tying score with 3 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. After, I like this part. Like, this doesn't really apply to how this game ended, but it's
Oh, Jesus.
But it says after dropping a couple of passes earlier in the game, Hill, whose mother died just a week ago, said he was playing with a renewed purpose. It says, when I drop balls, I usually don't get down on myself too much. I was livid because I had told myself I was playing for her today.
Oh, man.
Oh, jeez.
With games at Princeton and Harvard in the next 2 weeks, Penn needed to beat Brown. Now, Bagnoli said, I'm just trying to get our kids better.
That's 2 in a row.
2 in a row, overtime losses.
2 in a row. 2 in a row.
2 in a row. 2 in a row.
But both games they let get away from them.
Yes.
That's the dagger.
Yeah.
Surely that's all there will be.
Mm-hmm. Well, the third one is going to set an NCAA record of consecutive overtime games.
Just a real kick in the balls there.
I'm going to read the Inquirer lead here because I love it. The Philly Inquirer.
Again, the Inquirer, legitimately a very good newspaper.
It's so great. The Penn football team set an NCAA Division I record by playing in its third straight overtime game. That bit of fame is meaningless, though, because the Quakers lost all 3.
Get their asses.
Oh, their asses got.
I'm just going to go ahead and just read the article, how this ended. Penn holder Matt Reinert fumbled the snap on kicks in the first and second overtimes.
Right.
And Princeton ended up with a 31-30 win over its perennial rival.
This is
Oh
all
my
fine.
God.
This is totally fine.
There was a result, eliminated Penn 4-4 overall, 2-3 in the league from contention for the Ivy League title, and was the first home win for Princeton over Penn since 1992.
Commish, did you highlight this or did you take the screenshot with the highlights?
I took the
like
screenshot
this?
and then I made crazy highlights.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is the scrawlings of a madman here after
Yes.
3 straight overtime losses.
But that's perfect and that's correct. It's
Yes.
spiritually correct, which
Yeah.
is why I asked.
Yes, that I did the screenshot because I didn't want to like save the file and then upload it, whatever. So Penn stopped Princeton runs at the goal line and then stopped the Tigers again on 4th and goal, or so it seemed. Rob Teresco's run into the pile did not cross the goal line, but the referees did not blow the play dead. Teresco later lateraled the ball to the quarterback, Jeff Terrell, who ran the ball in the end zone, round the outside into the end zone. With no on-field replay system in 1AA football, the call stood.
There's the gold right there. The pre-replay days.
Beautiful.
Penn had to mount a ferocious comeback to tie the game in regulation. Down 24-10 early in the fourth quarter, Penn tied the game with 39 seconds remaining on a 16-yard touchdown pass from Robert Irvin to Matt Carey. And the ensuing extra point, which hadn't been a given for Quakers this season. Which,
I have been a fan of a team that did not have consistent extra points, and I can't begin to describe to you how awful that is, because it is the most kind of psychological torture every time they score, because you can't be happy about the touchdown because you're immediately anxious about the fucking extra point. It's awful. I would not wish that on anyone.
I've been broken since the River City Relay from the Saints, so I never count any extra point in advance ever. And I didn't count that one in advance either because I kind of could feel that was coming. So this is something that they had a field goal to the win in the first OT, but he fumbled the snap. Then they went to the second OT to tie the game, but then he fumbled the snap again
That's just
to tie on the extra point.
Can we hit the oh no disaster button?
yeah, gotcha here.
Oh no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
I just saw a something in the stats blurb here that confused the heck out of me. Matt Reinert, 1-for-1 passing for minus 10 yards. What?
So when he fumbled the snap in OT, he
must have just thrown it?
He threw it,
Oh, buddy.
and
Buddy,
it lost
that's
10 yards.
That's not how you make.
And that's how the
jokes
game
happen.
ended.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna hit that one again. And then I'm gonna hit this one.
They're covering me in mayo.
So mad at that. But yeah.
3-pointer.
The one thing after this, I'm just gonna say the rest of the season. The PENN Quakers, they went to play against Harvard at home in Franklin Field the next week, and they beat Harvard, number ranked 17 Harvard, like 22-13, like uneventful.
In front of a crowd of, let's be honest here,
No
like
one was there.
no one, like 7,000 people were there. No one came to this game.
Just me and the toast Zamboni.
God, I'm imagining what Franklin Field looks like with that few people.
I
That's the status.
I have the
Right,
article
like-
up and a quote from Coach Al Bagnoli. It says, "This served as consolation for Coach Al Bagnoli, whose team finds itself out of the Ivy League championship race with one game to play next weekend at Cornell. Quote, thank God we didn't have to go to overtime."
No shit.
Bagnoli said, quote, "I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that in the back of my mind when it was 20-13 and we were stumbling a little bit that I didn't think overtime could happen again."
Wait, he just said it was 20-13. We have a safety alert, folks.
There was a safety.
I
They
love
got a
though.
safety.
I love that their last game at Cornell was 27-28, which means it was just one extra, probably an extra point missed
Oh no.
for another overtime game.
I gotta get to that article.
Now,
Don't tell me
hey-
they missed another extra
Hey
point.
Beth,
It looks like they did.
I need you to see how many people were at the Cornell game against Penn.
That's at Sholkoff Field.
I mean, it is pretty chilly in Ithaca in November.
Okay, I have
2,800
the article.
people.
I have the article. Whatever you keep talking. Go ahead.
Okay, 2,800 people, even if in Ithaca, that's not a lot.
No.
That's oh god.
Sholkoff Field is much smaller, but it's not. It's still got a lot of space that's not going to be filled.
Like Beth was saying about Franklin Field. Franklin Field seats like 55,000.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's a big boy.
The Yale Bowl has the
Really
same problem.
pretty too. I like Franklin Field a lot.
Oh yeah, way better than Harvard Stadium. I like too. Yale's is awful.
Yeah, Yale sucks.
The bowl is just not great for anything.
The cool thing about the only cool thing about the Yale Bowl is that it's underground.
It has berms, yeah.
There it is. Hi, Franklin
We
Field.
do like a berm.
So did Walt Disney.
So
You can't-
the
you
article
go around-
the article for Cornell Penn. Cornell ends the season with a bizarre win.
Oh no!
Oh no.
God.
It Ithaca, Dateline. Perhaps it was fitting that the Cornell game came down to a botched fake on an extra point attempt.
Oh,
Oh
went
my
for it.
god.
Oh my god. They tried to win it.
Because
Outsmarted themselves.
from beginning to
Oh.
end, the Big Red and Quakers played one of the strangest, most exciting games in recent memory.
That no one saw.
Penn
This was untelevised.
Penn eschewed a tie with 1 minute and 51 seconds remaining.
I don't blame them.
They're
You
like,
know
"Fuck
what?
this! We are not going to overtime."
Bagnoli was like, "No, we're not doing OT again."
It's like I can lose and go home earlier.
We don't have to do this again.
Al was like, "Never again." They eschewed a tie with 1 minute and 51 seconds remaining. but could not execute a trick play on its conversion attempt. The Quakers fell to Cornell 28-27 in front of a small gathering of family friends at Chili Sholkoff Field.
I'm going to start referring to every crowd in the SEC as a small gathering of family and friends from the account this year.
Oh,
man,
you're going to get yelled at so badly.
I'm crying so bad. This is
This-
ridiculous.
This is so
that'll be
fucking
up
dumb.
there. That'll be up there with that time I referred to a group of Tennessee fans as a group of Bucknell fans.
I was just gonna read what happened and the trick play and the execution of the trick play here.
Go for it.
If you want to
Oh,
end the
dramatic
show
reading
on
here.
this, I'm just gonna read this paragraph.
Oh yeah, we'll just cut it here.
Okay, I will cut it right here. It's 2 paragraphs real quick. It's like, it might have been a different story if the Quakers had not entered Sholkoff field as losers of 3 straight Ivy League overtime games in NCAA record earlier this season. When Penn faced an extra point to tie with less than 2 minutes remaining, the thought of another overtime seemed too much for Quakers head coach Al Bagnoli. Instead, the Quakers tried to fake on the extra point with the holder Scotty Williams flipping the ball over his head to kicker Peter Stein. But the flip never went backward or got close to Stein. Instead, it resembled a fumbled snap with Cornell falling on the ball.
Oh God.
All together now.
One more
3,
time.
2,
1.
1. Oh
no.
no! Disaster!
Disaster.
What a bad
idea.
idea!